These are the red crabs of Christmas Island. Once a year, tens of millions of them takes on a difficult journey from their homes towards the sea. Their sheer number of the migration makes this one of the most spectacular natural wonders on Earth. Today, I want to understand the secret of the big land crab migration and their amazing march towards the sea. After seeing the video of their big migration, I have so many questions. First, why do land crabs need to move to the beach? And why do they need to move all at once? And the big question, how do they know when to move? To find out, I've decided to visit Professor Liu, who is the leading land crab expert in Taiwan, to show me Taiwan's very own crab migration. After the professor pointed around, I saw dozens of crab all congregating. Now, looking at this mama crab and all the crabs surrounding me, I think I've discovered their secret. The crabs all come to the beach at once to lay their eggs. As the professor explained to me, even though these are land crabs, their eggs and larvae still need to grow in the sea before returning to shore. And all the mother crabs are really deliberate with their egg-laying migration timing. Only when the monsoon season has arrived will the crabs start to move towards the sea. This is because even though these land crabs have evolved to live on land, they still breathe with gills. The moisture provided by the monsoon creates a perfect wet pathway for the crabs to traverse on. However, when it comes to spawning, the rain is only half the equation. Scientists have discovered that crabs only spawn during the receding high tide in the last quarter of the moon. How they manage to time this perfectly is really beyond me. And once they get close to the shoreline, the male and the female crabs were made and get prepared for the spawning. 现在在这个海滩呢，我周围全部都是母蟹朝海边那边冲去。超痛！天哪！我一直都很好奇，他们是怎么知道要在同时这个晚上一起往海边前进？
就变成说，他们可能就是感受到月光的变化，等于说月光会调节它的那个繁殖的荷尔蒙。母蟹就是性成熟的母蟹，大概会在同一个时间去同时间排卵这样子。
Did you see that? I think that was a goby fish trying to eat the eggs from the crab. There are actually so many dangers that a mama crab has to face during her migration towards the sea, such as the fish we just saw, or sometimes even just a bigger crab, or just the weather.
这是脱水，所以漂在水面上。
就是太干了，是不是？
嗯。
But the crabs actually have another surprising enemy, the ants. These are yellow crazy ants, an invasive species here in Taiwan that have also spread to many different surrounding regions, such as Australia and Christmas Island. When the crabs are marching across the land, these ants will attack the crabs, spraying formic acid and crawling all over their body. The large and powerful pincers of the crab are no use against these tiny invaders. Even though the crab shells are hard and impenetrable, their eyes are vulnerable, and a lot of time the blinded crabs will slowly weaken and die, eventually being torn apart as a feast.
所以它在一个地方待下去，其实不只是那些其他的无脊椎动物会被它攻击，像在香蕉，它们连那种小蛇一样都那个被它吃掉，所以它是真的是很难解决的外来种。那当然它在台湾已经超过100年了。
Okay, so if the mother crab has got through all the crazy dangers that we just mentioned, humans are also making their journeys even more difficult. For example, here in Kanding, a main highway runs right between the highway and the mountains where the crab lives. So reaching the sea means crossing a 20-meter wide road while 60-kilometer-an-hour cars zooming by. But even with all those hardships, some mother crabs persevere and finally reaches the ocean into the sea to complete their ultimate mission.
Oh.
At the moment the mother crab releases the egg into the sea, the second stage of crab life begins. The egg turns into zoea, which is the larvae of the crustacean form. They will stay in the sea for about a month before returning to land as little juvenile crab. The little crabs now have to take on the same path their mother took just a month before, a trail that is still full of obstacles and dangers.
The returning number are so massive, they carpet the road to turn them red. And the local residents have to sweep them aside and away from their houses. And remember, this happens once a year. So now these little crabs, like any crustaceans, will molt to slowly grow bigger. And after multiple molts, they can finally become the adult crab that we saw earlier.
Now you might notice both the mother and the children crabs migrate in numbers, all at the same time.
For example, on Christmas Island, there could be up to 40 million crabs all migrating towards the shore. Their number is so massive, the migration blocks the road and shut down many local activities. I mean, just look at this.
Now, this also happens a lot with many different kinds of animals in nature, such as tiny ants or termites, which have nuptial flights altogether, or the great buffalo and zebras, which migrate across the plain in numbers. And the reason is that numbers protect them. Even if a predator takes away one or two of them, the whole species can still survive. However, this strategy only works if their population is above a certain threshold.
对小型路线来讲，我觉得族群数量大了，可能是它生存的一个必要的条件。不然母蟹数量少，可能在整个降海过程中，大家都折损掉了。
对。And this does not just apply to the land crabs we saw. All the other crustaceans that migrate to reproduce are in this situation as well, such as the hermit crab or the coconut crab, to name a few. During the early 10s, the hermit crabs' numbers were decimated due to tourists taking away their shells, which is vital to their survival, and coconut crabs suffering from roadkills as badly as all the land crabs.
如果他们真的就这样消失，我们就不管他们，它对生态会有什么影响？
对啊，他是多重身份的消费者哦，但是他还有一个很重要的身份是所谓的分解者的功能。鹿蟹在食物链里面也有很重要的角色，那在物质循环的角色来讲，又可能也是非常重要。就在他生活的这个环境来讲。
Alright, but it's not all doom and gloom here. Substantial efforts have been made to help our little eight-legged friends survive. Abroad at the Christmas Island, a giant crab bridge was built to help crab cross more easily. And roadkill-proof cars are made to sweep away the crabs without killing them. In Taiwan, events have been organized during the peak migration season to help the land crab cross better. Designated hermit crab havens are also created, with people providing extra shells to give to our little hermit crabs. And signs, lots and lots of signs are made to help people notice them more. And I think that is the point of this video, to have more people become aware of our little crab friends' great migration in the dark. And with our help, they will have a better chance of reaching the ocean despite all the difficulties in their way. Thank you for watching.